Hey everyone, I'm Rachel, and I've been debating whether to share this story for months now. I'm 28, working in real estate, and honestly, I never thought I'd be making a video about my dad's girlfriend attacking me at my sister's wedding. But here we are, and trust me, there's so much more to this story than just the shoe incident. You know how they say family drama always comes out at weddings? Well, they weren't kidding. My parents divorced when I was 20 and my sister Emma was 18. It wasn't pretty, but we managed to move forward. Dad seemed okay for a while, focusing on his business and spending time with us. Then Jessica came into the picture. From the moment Dad introduced her, something felt off. She was 15 years younger than him, always dressed like she was heading to a nightclub, and had this way of looking at people like she was sizing them up. I tried to give her a chance. Emma and I both did. But things started getting weird. Dad stopped showing up for our weekly dinners. His phone always went straight to voicemail. When we did see him, Jessica was always there, whispering in his ear, controlling every conversation. Then Emma got engaged to Tom. She was so excited, floating on air when she showed me her ring. "Rachel, will you be my maid of honor?" she asked, tears in her eyes. Of course I said yes. How could I not? But even in that happy moment, there was this nagging worry in the back of my mind. The wedding planning started great. Emma was the most laid-back bride you could imagine. She just wanted a beautiful garden ceremony with our closest family and friends. But every time Dad and Jessica showed up for planning meetings, something would go wrong. Jessica would make these subtle comments about the decorations being cheap or the venue being basic. I watched my sister's confidence crumble a little more each time. I remember this one day at the flower shop perfectly. Emma was excitedly looking at different bouquet options when Dad and Jessica showed up unannounced. "Oh, honey," Jessica's voice dripped with fake sweetness. "You're not seriously considering peonies, are you? They're so basic." She ran her manicured fingers over some expensive orchids. Now, these would make a statement. I watched Emma's face fall. Those peonies were Mom's favorite flowers, and Emma had been planning to incorporate them as a tribute. Before I could step in, Jessica was already pulling Dad toward the exotic flower section, loudly discussing how they could help upgrade the wedding. My best friend Maya became my sanity checker through all of this. We'd meet for coffee at our favorite spot and I'd vent about the latest drama. "You won't believe what she did now," I said one morning, stirring my latte aggressively. She convinced Dad to suggest changing the entire wedding venue. 2 months before the wedding, Maya listened patiently, then asked the question that changed everything. "Have you ever wondered why she's pushing so hard to control everything? What's her endgame?" That conversation led me down a rabbit hole I never expected. With Maya's help, I started investigating Jessica's background. What we found was shocking. She had 3 previous marriages, all to wealthy men, all ending in mysterious financial circumstances. There were bankruptcy filings under different names, failed businesses that seemed more like schemes, and a pattern of isolating her partners from their families. The real bombshell came when we discovered her connection to a known fraud ring. Maya's cousin worked in cybersecurity and helped us dig deeper. Jessica wasn't just a gold digger, she was part of a sophisticated criminal enterprise. I tried to tell Dad. I went to his house one evening, armed with documents and proof. But Jessica must have suspected something because she never left us alone. She hovered, redirected conversations, and finally suggested they needed to leave for dinner reservations. As we got closer to the wedding day, Dad's behavior became more erratic. He'd show up to meetings drunk or not show up at all. His once successful business was showing signs of trouble. Even his appearance changed. He looked older, tired, beaten down. Emma was trying to stay positive, but I could see the stress eating at her. One night, about 3 days before the wedding, she broke down completely. "I just want my dad back," she sobbed into my shoulder. "The dad who taught us to ride bikes and scared away monsters under our beds." "What happened to him, Rachel?" The wedding day started beautifully. Emma looked like a princess in her dress, and the garden venue was perfect. Everything seemed okay until I saw Dad stumble out of his car, Jessica practically carrying him to his seat. My heart sank. He was drunk. At 11 a.m., on his daughter's wedding day. Somehow, we made it through the ceremony. Emma and Tom said their vows, and for a moment, everything felt magical. Then came the reception. I was helping Emma with her dress when I heard the commotion. Dad was at the bar, loud and sloppy, with Jessica hanging on his arm. Guests were starting to stare. I approached them calmly. "Dad, maybe we should get some fresh air?" Jessica's head snapped around. "He's fine where he is," she hissed. That's when I lost it. He's ruining his daughter's wedding. "Can't you see what you're doing to him?" Jessica's face turned ugly. "You think you're so perfect, don't you? Always trying to control everything. Well, guess what? Your daddy chose me. He knows who cares about him." "Cares about him?" I laughed, bitterly. "Is that what you call draining his bank accounts?" It happened so fast. Jessica yanked off her designer heel and swung it at my head. I felt the sharp heel connect with my temple, and suddenly everything was chaos. People were screaming, chairs were overturning, and Emma was crying. Security rushed in, and Jessica was still screaming obscenities as they dragged her away. The next few weeks were a blur of police reports and hospital visits. Yes, I needed stitches. Those stilettos were no joke. Emma and Tom cut their honeymoon short when they heard what happened. Dad was in complete denial, saying things like, "She didn't mean it, Rachel. You provoked her. If you'd just given her a chance." But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. The police investigation into the assault uncovered something bigger. Way bigger. Turns out, Jessica wasn't just a gold digger, she was running a sophisticated fraud operation, and Dad was involved. Whether he knew it or not, his business was being used to launder money. The truth hit our family like a tsunami. Emma was devastated. I was angry. Dad faced criminal charges. Jessica went to jail. And me? I spent a lot of time in therapy, trying to make sense of it all. Dr. Martinez, my therapist, became my lifeline. "You're not responsible for other people's choices," she would remind me. Not your father's, Jessica's, or anyone's. Work became my therapy too. I threw myself into my real estate career, and surprisingly, all this chaos had taught me valuable skills. Was I dealing with difficult clients? Please. After handling Jessica, negotiating house prices was a breeze. My boss noticed too, and that promotion came with a corner office and a team of my own. The healing wasn't linear. There were good days and bad days. Days when I missed the dad I used to know so much, it physically hurt. Days when Emma and I would laugh until we cried, remembering some of the more ridiculous moments of the whole saga, like the time Jessica tried to convince everyone she was a former Olympic gymnast while wearing 6-inch heels. 6 months after the incident, Emma and Tom had a beautiful vow renewal ceremony. It was everything the original wedding should have been: small, intimate, filled with love and genuine joy. Dad wasn't there his choice, not ours. He was still working through his recovery program and felt he wasn't ready. 1 year after the incident, Dad reached out. He was 6 months sober and wanted to meet. We chose a neutral location, a coffee shop downtown. He looked older but clearer somehow, more like his old self. "I'm sorry," were his first words. "I don't expect forgiveness, but I need you to know how sorry I am." It wasn't a magical fix. Trust takes time to rebuild, and we're still working on it. But it was a start. This whole experience taught me something profound about family, love, and forgiveness. It's okay to love someone and still need boundaries. It's okay to hope for the best while protecting yourself from the worst. Sometimes life throws designer shoes at your head, but it's how you recover that matters. If you're dealing with toxic family situations, remember that you're not alone. Your feelings are valid. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone face the consequences of their actions. I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. Have you ever had to set boundaries with family? How did you handle it? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more real talk about family dynamics, personal growth, and life's unexpected challenges. Until next time, take care of yourselves and maybe wear a helmet to family gatherings, just in case.